Hello and welcome to this short video on WCI AutoMap in 5 minutes. This is a GitHub project, public project that we've created to contain documentation for interacting with the WCI AutoMap tool. You can watch this video by clicking on this tutorial training video link here. Essentially what we've done is put together some examples of how to interact with the API to enact certain scenarios in the tool. This serves both as documentation for the tool itself and also a kind of guide to its overall functionality and how to use it for different kinds of use cases. So what we have here is by language, a listing of the use cases and some other finishing stuff. Right now we've got curl examples, a Postman collection that will let you operate API interactions via Postman, and coming soon and probably by the time you see this, our Java examples run through a test harness. And this folder also supports the ability to create a jar file that can be used as a library to build code around and interact with the API. And we'll produce other versions of this as needed in the future. Each of these things walk through a series of examples. First of all, this is an authenticated platform, so at least the reference deployment is logging in and then getting some metadata, performing a health check, which you might do if this is deployed in a Kubernetes environment, and then various cases of performing maps under one circumstance or another, and then kind of finding the results of the things that you went back. All of these examples run against the reference deployment, which is here at automap.terminology.tools. This should be up and available and support the ability to interact with it. You can see the core API documentation here. And to use the API documentation, you'll need to use login to acquire an authorization token and then plug it in here, and then you can interact with the APIs this way as well. Just to walk through kind of quick example, if we go to curl examples, we'll see that it literally just kind of walks you through a series of steps. So here, if we bring a window over, we could run this, run this to set the environment. And then we'll want to log in. So go to login, we'll do this, and I'm actually going to do this kind of off screen so I can put in my username and password. Let's see here. Just bear with me for a second. And we'll get an authorization token up. You basically make this call, you plug in your username and password into the parameters. Password sample is in quotes here in case you have special characters. And you can run this to acquire a token. So I'll show you back here. After having logged in, I can run this and I have a token. After that, you can then do things. So with the token set, I can just simply cut and paste these commands. You got to have curl installed and you got to have JQ installed for this all to work properly. So this is just showing you what asking for config information. This tells you for each entity type what the terminology bindings are and how the settings work to configure what it's doing in the background. Just some metadata information about what's happening with the API. If you want to actually perform a real map, we could take a simple example here that's mapping really a SNOMED code and finding an answer. But again, you just copy and paste these things and you get your results. So here, this is attempting to map to SNOMED and ICD-10-CM, and it does not find an ICD match because it's a SNOMED code that we're mapping, but it produces a SNOMED response. And that really kind of is it. You can just copy and paste these things. Examples of what the outputs look like are shown here as well, so you don't have to actually run everything to see what you're getting. And we go through a series of examples of all those use cases, and this will be built up over time to accommodate all the different ways in which this service can be called to do things. There will be more complex examples that come through in the end, but essentially this serves as both documentation and as a place to build libraries that can be used downstream. Thank you for watching.